Hi, everybody. Like to say in all my videos, I'm not responsible. If anybody gets hurt, it's just my opinion, and sometimes I swear. Um, I'm doing a reading on Andrew, on Andrew, who was arrested. I'm doing a tarot reading about Andrew, formerly known as Prince Andrew. He was born uh, February 19th, 1960. He's 66 now. He was married to Sarah and Ferguson from 86 to 96, so I guess it's 10. And he has two children, Princess Beatrice and Eugene, parents, Princess Elizabeth, and Philip, House of Windsor. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to ask a bunch of different questions. I don't know how long this video is going to be, so we'll see what it's going to be from his point of view and other people's point of view. First, I'm going to ask about him with a person we both know. I personally don't like her. I despise her. Did he have a relationship with Meghan Markle? I'm just going out the gate and say, did he have a romantic relationship or sexual relationship? Like I said, this is entertainment purposes. Did he have a sexual relationship with her before she married? Before she got married, when she was a yacht girl. Was he part of that? Did he have a relationship with her? Please tell me. Did he have a relationship, sexual relationship? I'll put down 5 cards and see if he had a sexual relationship with Meghan Markle, or did he just chat with her, on the yacht. In the past, did he have a relationship, sexual? Please tell me. And then I'll ask on the side one of the oracle cards. Okay, well, this is going to be interesting. So it says, yeah, you bet. Warmth and enthusiastic. He was enthusiastic to meet this beautiful younger woman at the time, Meghan Markle, before he had a relationship with, so he was confident, he was independent, he liked to do his own thing with her, so he liked to do his own thing. He thought he was a social butterfly because he was part of the Windsor family, and and also he was adaptable. He could hang out with a bunch of different people on the yacht with her and him. They were very adaptable. He was like a suave and debonair playboy. And he balanced a lot of different women in his relationship. But he was unorganized about how to get the women. He probably would have to have people help him to figure out how to get a woman as high class as Meghan Markle. So he was disorganized. He didn't have it. He would probably have to call someone on the phone and say, can you hook me up with Meghan Markle? So, and he was careless, like, oh, I don't know if she is high class enough for me. And he was impulsive with her. Maybe it was like a one-time thing. It didn't happen too much long. And there was missed opportunities to have a long-range relationship. I think he wanted a long relationship with her, but it didn't turn out that way. But there was progress in the relationship. He wanted a better relationship than like just a fling with Meghan Markle. He wanted more of a relationship than a fling with Meghan Markle. And he was very confident, like I said, in the relationship. I'll be right back. I need a tissue. Sometimes things happen. Sorry about that, allergies. I'll get it all kinds of season. Yeah, he was a confident person about, and he was so confident. Like, He's very arrogant. He think he can get any girl he wants at any price, I guess. So yeah. And in the relationship, it was about money. Oof. So it says you are working toward real wealth and poverty in your life. Keep investing in your looking into long-term goals. So this was a money relationship too. Ugh. Oh my God. I'm gonna look that up. This is entertainment purposes, so don't get mad because it sounds like this was a business. So I'm gonna ask 4 more cards. Was this relationship? Was this money passing hands with Megan? Was this a money thing? Because right now I got a feeling yes it was, but we'll see. I'll ask 3 cards. Was this a money exchange with him and her? You know, will you give me? I'll scratch your back if you scratch my back, or I'll give you $1,000 if you'll, play footsie with me under the sheets or whatever. Entertainment purposes only. 3 cards. Please tell me. Is this money? Well, it says, oh, I'm using the other cards, but it doesn't matter. Dominating control and lack of discipline. He didn't have discipline about, like I said, the money matters and having a relationship with him. He wanted a relationship with him, but he wasn't very disciplined with it. And she was very stubborn. She's a stubborn person. She's a Leo. She wants things her way. So she was stubborn in this relationship. She didn't want a long-term relationship with him. And she thought he was reckless with money matters and not. And also, she thought he was cold. Probably not the most warm person in the bedroom. So she thought he was kind of cold and detached and moody. He's a moody person. She thought he was very moody person. He's not the most warm person and Casanova kind of person. She doesn't like people who are cold. She wants someone outgoing, a little going, a little more outgoing, and she had inner feelings for him. She did have some feelings for him, but not much. And also, he was trying to have pleasure with her and be positive, and with their small fling that they had, she tried to have success in the relationship. So it doesn't say that it was money passed, but in the first hand it said. So it was more like. It was nothing like a big deal to her. It was like just a fling, basically. It was just a fling to him and her. I think he cared more for her than he for her. He cared more for her than she did. But she just thought it was a business opportunity, and he wanted more, but she wasn't interested in him like that. She wanted the milk and the cow at the same time, and he wasn't that good, she thought, in bed. Oops. That's what the card said, so don't get mad at me. So, okay, now I'm going to ask his relationship with his ex-wife. Is that, do they, they sleep in separate rooms. Do they ever, have a relationship outside of, inside the bedroom after they got a divorce? Did they ever frequently, he comes over and spends the night in her bed? Does Fergie let him do that, or he says no, it's going to be a platonic relationship, you and me, after the divorce? We're not going to, sleep together anymore. I'm not going to have you because you've been with so many different women, and you have to make sure you have make sure you don't have any diseases or whatever. So is she willing to, why not? Maybe I'll get something out of this. Please, did she have an, would she, would she, yeah. I'm going to ask, how many cards? Would she be willing to, with him again after the divorce, or did she say no? It says emotional loss. She was upset when they got the divorce, she felt sad and upset, what divorce is, divorce is terrible, especially when people have cheated she was no saint either. So, and he was no saint either. They were both cheating on both sides. So she's blocking Creative. I don't think she wants to have a sexual relationship with him outside of, the divorce. Because some people hang out with their ex-spouse and sleep around with them, but I don't think so. I think she had him when they were married, and she said, "No, I don't want to have a relationship." Uh, she knew about his knowledge. She knew that he was cheating on her, and she didn't want to deal with it anymore. She trusted herself. She was going to start over without him, even though they're in the same household, because they live in the same house. She want to start over and have a new relationship with other men. She doesn't want to be with him. No, she doesn't want to. She has high morals in some cases. That's what it says. This is what the card says. She has high morals. She will not have a relationship with her ex-husband, sexual relationship with him. Also, she loves herself, and there was disharmony in the relationship, in the marriage. And toward the end, they weren't getting along. He had the rolling eye. He was cheating on her, and she was cheating on him. So it was both ways. He cheated on her, and vice versa. And they both made bad choices. Maybe they should have never married. All right. I'm gonna ask a question. Excuse me, I'm going to blow my nose. All right. Oh, yeah, Epstein. Let's ask that. Was he friends with Epstein? That's the $1,000,000 question. Was he friends with Epstein? Did he go in those circles, the French circle with Epstein? Was he friends? Andrew was friends with Epstein. Please tell me. Please. Was he friends with Epstein? Yeah, you better believe it. Oh my God, disaster relationship. Oh boy. Not good. There was chaos and pain. He knew exactly what was going on. He was no innocent in this thing. He was not innocent. He knew what was going on, but he just left a blind eye. He knew what was going on. This was chaos, disaster, sudden change. He knew what was going on, and there was pain and loss. He knew that what he was doing, with the money and the women, and the girls. He knew what was going on, and he did a blind eye. He knew that he was doing horrible, shitty. I'm gonna swear. I said sometimes I swear. He did really shitty things to girls and women and other people. He looked a blind eye. Andrew didn't care. He only cared about the buck. Yeah, so the loss, and it was tragedy. A lot of people, when you see this, you see people falling down and getting injured. So when I asked about him knowing Epstein, yeah, he did, and he didn't seem to care. There was a lot of problems, and he tried to exit, though. I think when it got too deep, he wanted nothing to do with it. He laughed, he was going to say, "Oh, yeah, I knew him, but he was the kind of person, he stayed a long time, but he wanted to leave, because he didn't want his hand in the cookie jar and find out, oops, I was part of it. I don't want to be part of it." He didn't want to end up in prison, like he could spend like 30 or 40 or the rest of his life. He didn't want to get caught. So he wanted to heal and move forward. He didn't want to be involved with little girls or underage girls. So he didn't want to do it after he said, because he didn't want to get caught. He basically didn't want to get caught. Wanted to move on and escape and heal from it. He didn't want to get involved with Epstein anymore. But there was luck. He was into money. chances, turning points. I think there was a turning point in his life saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I'll be with Epstein. I think he said after a while he's going to, after this, I'm going to ask, is he going to tell on the people who are in the file so he'll have a less sentence? I'm going to ask that. So there's going to be a turning point. I think there's a turning point where he's going to go and spill his guts and with a lawyer, and he's going to tell to get a less sentence. Yeah, planning. Yeah, he's going to plan to have a good lawyer and play. He has a lot of money, and he even though he really never worked for a living, he has a lot of money from his parents still, like in estates and stuff, money, and he's going to have to pay a lawyer for it, and he long term, Okay, what was the question? Sometimes it just falls out of my face. Oh, is he going to make a deal so he'll have less of a sentence for Epstein? Is he going to be saying, I'm going to get a lawyer and so I won't have to be in for the rest of my life, or he'll have a sentence less, or community work or whatever? Is he going to try to, make a deal? Because a lot of these people try to make deals, like P. Diddy and a lot of actors or people in Scientology. I'll make another video about, making deals so they can less time being in prison. Is Andrew going to make a deal? Because he's with the devil when it came to Epstein, I think. So is he gonna try to stay a deal so he won't spend prison time because he laundered money? Please, and with teenage girls, please. Is he gonna try to make a deal with the FBI, CIA, and with his lawyer and their lawyer, whoever? Please tell me, is he gonna be try to make a deal? I'm gonna do 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll do 2. I'm gonna do 7. Oh, this came out, so I'm gonna do 8. Wow, when I have articles like 3 of them come out, I do them all. Is he gonna make a deal? Let's see. He's gonna. It says he's emotional loss because he got caught being friends with Epstein, and he feels like a little guilty, like, oh no, he got his hand in the cookie jar. He knows things, and he got caught. He has emotions, but he loves himself. He thinks he's the cat's meow. He thinks he's a great person. He's conceited. Prince, he's conceited. He has some feminine things. He thinks he has high morals. This is what it says. He has high morals, and he trusts himself. He thinks he really didn't do anything wrong. That's what it says. Oh God, he thinks he didn't really do anything wrong. He really likes himself. He's very sensitive. He thinks he's a very sensitive person. Because this is the High Princess. It's feminine. What's the word I'm looking for? Feminine energy. He thinks he's very, caring and loving person. That's what it says. Also, these are the lovers in reverse. Like I said, he loves himself. He cares about himself. He's conceited. Suffered disenchantment. He makes a lot of bad choices being with Epstein and being with girls that might have been underage, and the money laundering. He does a lot of bad choices. He sucked at making the choices, being with Epstein and the inner circle. So he knew what was going on. No saint here. Sudden awareness. Kate happened. He was trying to be happy in the relationship he was with Epstein. He was trying to be, and he was withdrawing from being in the relationship because I think he knew that eventually he's going to be caught. I think eventually Prince Andrew, or whoever you want to call him, I'll call him Andrew. Yeah, he knew he was going to get caught. I think eventually he knew the paper was going to come and get him. He didn't want to be. He had mixed emotions that he'd be caught, checking for retreat. Yeah, he was hiding. Maybe he was hiding, and he decided he's gonna. They say in the thing that he just came in. He was hiding at his home, and he came out and said, "I'm gonna go to the police and do it myself and tell people that he went to the police station and did it himself." So he retreated, and then he went and saw them. And it says he had a lot of. He had balanced decision. He didn't know what to do. He balanced decisions. He wasn't sure what he should do. Should he tell the truth, or should he balance decisions? He wasn't sure if he should tell the truth on Epstein or hide away somewhere. He wasn't sure, and he was trying to manage time. And then it says on these article cards, it says, "Strange company in strange places challenge up your immigrant." Yeah, so he strange company. He had strange company being with Epstein in the inner circle, and he had challenges being with them. So yeah, and then it says, "The Princess of Time. The time has come. The time is to act now." So he acted now. He went to the police station, and he's going to act. He's going to act. He'll probably get a lawyer and talk to the lawyer. So he's going to act now. Go to the lawyer and talk to the mermaid and the turtle. Elderly will teach you. So he's going to probably have an elderly, an older someone like his brother or someone in his family or someone he knows to talk to him about what he did. Maybe a person in the family or something is going to go and tell him, you need to tell the truth. Don't hide what you did. Just go and speak the truth. So I think it doesn't say if he's going to, it doesn't say that he's going to make a deal, but it does say, I'll ask 3 more cards. I'll try. It says he's going to try to come clean, so I guess he is. I'm going to ask 3 more cards. Is he going to try to, 3 more cards. Is he going to try to come clean and tell the truth with Epstein? I'm going to ask 4 cards. Is he going to come truth with Epstein? I'll try that. And if it doesn't tell me, it doesn't tell me. Is going to come truth with Epstein? Is he going to come clean, or is he going to lie? Well, he's going to try to tell the truth eventually. There's going to delay. He's going to make a lot of deals trying to, not end up in prison for life. He does not want to be in prison for the rest of his life. Who would want that? So he's going to be involved in delays, of going to court and stay, he's going to, people will want him to go to prison, but there's going to be delays. It's going to take years. This is going to take a couple years for him to end up, if he goes into prison for life. It's going to be delays, like people want to put him in jail, but he'll tie it up by promising. He's going to promise things. He has secrets, though, double secret. He has secrets from the Epstein thing that's going to come out. I feel that there is. And he's very selfish. Andrew's a selfish person. He only cares about him. It says he's shallow. He's withdrawn. He's going to keep to himself. He kept for years what's going on with Epstein for years. He's withdrawn and he's silent about it. He's been very silent about Epstein. He hasn't, he shut his mouth and he didn't tell anybody anything, and he has repressed feelings about it. He repressed his feelings about it. He's not telling anybody about it. He didn't tell his parents about it. He when they were alive, he didn't tell his brother, his family. He didn't say zip to them. He thinks, like I said, in the female, he thinks he's a compassionate person. He cares about his kids, his family, and everything. And he thinks he's kind and loving and sensitive. That's what the card said. Um, uh, and this hardship, he's going to have a lot of money problems, after this, because he's going to lose a lot of money because of going through all these lawyers. He's going to lose a lot of money. Yep, he's going to lose a lot of money because of getting a lawyer, because I don't think his family wants to help. I'm going to ask that. Yeah, he's going to struggle of rejection because his family won't stand by. I don't think his family, I'm going to look that up. Is his family going to stand by him? I'm going to look that up. Right now, I feel like his family's going to reject him and not going to stick with him because of what he's done in the Epstein files. I'm going to look that up. Are they going to be... Right now, it says that Prince Harry Harry's not in the family right now. William, Kate, who else is there? Mark, and all those family members, his daughters and his ex-wife aren't going to be there. Is it true that his Andrew's ex-wife and his family are not going to stand by him with the Epstein tapes? Epstein files or tapes or whatever you want to call it. Is it true? Right now it seems like they're not going to stand by and help him and he's going to have money problems. Is it true that they're not going to stand by him and they'll say, screw you, you have to lay, you made your bed, you're going to have to lay in it. No, they're not going to help him. They don't want to help him. He has to lay in his own... he had personal values. He was overwhelmed by choices, lack of purpose. He's the kind of person that he didn't feel like he had a lot of purposes in his life, because he was the younger brother of Charles. So he was like, he didn't have to go to work. He didn't have to have a job. So he didn't have any purpose in his life. I feel like he had no purpose in his life. And he had fantasies and... being with a lot of different women, and, he didn't have anything to look forward to in his life. So he was very shallow person. I feel like he was. He had fantasies of, like I said, being with other women, fantasies of being the one, like being like Prince Charles, and his father, fantasies of being king. Also, like I said, there was disharmony in the family. He didn't get along with his brother that much. I feel like they didn't get along with his brother. There was disharmony. Working alone, he had to work alone, lack of teamwork. He didn't really want to work with his brother. Andrew didn't really want to work with Charles. It was like, I'm second best. Why should I even bother? He didn't want to work with Charles. Wow, that's interesting. He didn't want to work with him. Lack of team organized. He had group conflict with his brother and sister. So yeah, he didn't want to work with his brother and his sister. His mother would have to say, "Come on, Andrew, you work your brother's sister and do charity work," and he didn't really want to do that. He said, "Oh, I'm second fiddle. Why should I have to help out and do charity work?" So he didn't want to help. Sorry, that was my alarm. He thought he was courage and faithful, and he tried to set boundaries with his family. Like, I don't have to listen to you. I'm going to put boundaries. Like, I'll do whatever I want. I can be with whoever I want. You're not going to tell me what to do. I can spend how much money I want and stuff on girls, cars, clothes, whatever. You can't tell me what to do kind of attitude. Standing around. He was worried, though. He was tired of having fights with his brother and his sister, and, he was tired of it. And he was tired of fighting with his family. So, yeah, he didn't have a very good relationship with his family. And he had lack of confidence. He's narcissistic. It says he's narcissistic. What a surprise. It says he's narcissistic. It says poor planning, untapped talent, insecure, lack of confidence. Yep, he's lack of confidence, you know, being caught, you know, with with his pants down, and he says he's an insecure person because of how he was raised, and then if it doesn't give an excuse, but he's narcissistic. It says on the on narcissistic. So yeah, they don't want to help him, and they weren't close, and he's a narcissistic person. Okay, will he? I'll look up. Will he end up being in prison for 30, 40 years? And then I'll ask with a couple article cards. Is he going to end up in prison for the rest of his life, or is it going to be not forever? Is he going to be there for the old man? Is he going to be in there for 30, 40 years? Is Andrew going to be in there for 30, 40 years? For embezzling money, stealing money. Yep, he's going to be in there for a long, long time. Like I said, he loves himself. He cares about himself. He's arrogant. He's a narcissistic. Sorry, I don't want people to see that. I don't want to get in trouble for that. The lover's in reverse. He cares about himself. He's just suffering detachment, you know, because he's going to end up in jail. So he's not going to be attached to anybody because the only person he'll see are lawyers, you know, and maybe a few of his family members who, maybe his daughters might show up, but that's about it. I don't think his brother's going to show up. His sister's probably doesn't want anything to do with him. Maybe his ex-wife might show up occasionally, or she might not want to do with him. Maybe, I think mainly the lawyer and his kids might show up, but not anybody else that had the hands tied and said, screw that, Andrew. You made your bed, you have to lay it. And he made bad choices, you know, by working with Epstein and money laundering. He knew what was going on and the girls and stuff. So he knew what was going on. Personally, time management. Yeah, like he tried to make good time and management with Epstein. And I think Epstein was trying to show him the ropes on how to embezzle money and do money laundering and stuff like that. I think Epstein was trying to teach him about it. They were friends, it says they were in the other reading. Compassion. He thought he was a passionate person, and he was trying to heal from the relationship he had with Epstein and caring. They said he was emotional. He was an emotional person. Him. And he was going to have a new project with Epstein before he died, and work with him and do more things. He liked power, though. Andrew was a person who likes that power. You know, he didn't want to do it legally. He wants to do it illegally. So he wanted power. You know, he didn't want to do it the right way. He wanted to do it the wrong way. So he wanted power, and he found he was going to do new opportunities. He wanted to do new things with Epstein, and now when Epstein died, he wanted new opportunities with the inner circle. So he was going to go with the inner circle and learn new ways to do the money and find girls and stuff. Was he gonna was he gonna do gambling? Was there gonna be gambling or drugs or whatever? I'm gonna ask. Was there gonna be drugs and stuff? Was he gonna be doing drugs or drugs or guns or whatever? Buy guns and stuff. Was that his new he said he had new opportunities since Epstein passed away. Was he gonna be into selling drugs, dirt, like they do in the movies and television, drug cartel? Was he gonna go into the drug scene, or was he said no? First, I'll ask, would he be in the drug scene or would he not? Would he be in the drug scene or gun scenes or weapons or whatever? Please tell me. Would Andrew, once that Epstein died, would he ever be into drugs, gambling, or whatever? Would he be into drugs or gambling or whatever? It says he would, but uh, he would want to be the one in control. There was lack of discipline. He didn't really know how to get into the drug thing or gambling or something like that. He wouldn't know how to do it. He would have to have someone show him how to deal with the drugs or guns or whatever, weapons, or because gambling. He doesn't know too much about it. He knows enough. He probably gone to Monte Carlo, Las Vegas, and all the things, but he doesn't really know how to do the real thing. And he was trying to have pleasure in it and be happy. Oh, good, I have a new thing to do. I can go in the inner circle and learn how to do the money by making money through not legal things like drugs or weapons or gambling. So he was trying to have fun and be with the girls and have fun. So he was really happy about that. And he'd travel. He would travel with the girls and travel with the people. He'd learn how to do the drugs or entertainment purposes, the drugs, or if he got involved with other people with who were in the drug cartel or gambling or weapons or whatever, he'd be into that. So, and also, but he got bad advice from the people who he was with. They said, "Oh, you have to have money. You have to give us some money before we would teach you how to deal with this." So he would get bad advice, like, "You have to give us like $50,000 before we're going to show you how to, be in this gang we're going to be, or syndicate or whatever." So he had bad advice, and also he was self-compassionate, cared about himself a lot. He's very arrogant. Like I said, he was a narcissistic. He cared about himself. So yeah, he's not Mr. Innocent. He had a lot of things he wanted to go back and do other things that weren't legal, maybe guns, weapons, drugs, and gambling. Now, is there anything else you want to tell me right now? Entertainment purposes, Andrew? It says he's going to spend a lot of time in prison. Oh, I know a question. I just popped in my mind. When he's in prison, will his life be threatened? Will he have to be in a different jail because he's up there? He'd have to be in a different cell because his life would be threatened all the time. Because he's like a celebrity, even though he's a royal, was a royal. He got stripped. I don't know if he'd still be able to. Would he be in a regular cell, or would he have to be in a special cell? Would he be in a special cell? That's a good question. Would he be in a I'll do 3 cards in this, and then I'll ask. Yeah. Would he have to be in a special cell? Because he'd be scared he'd be knifed or killed or stabbed, or, Would he have to be in a special cell, Andrew? Because 2 more cards keep on wanting to come out. They stick. All right. Yeah, he'd have to go in a special cell. And he would have to be creative. I think he would try to flirt with the women guards, and try to have favors by the women guards, and saying, "Oh, will you do this? Will you give me special things that I can get and he was going to be romantic with the guards, like you scratch my back, I'll scratch you kind of attitude. And he was going to be Prince Charming in prison. He's going to try to be Prince Charming in prison with the guards. Oh, weird. And he's going to unfilled love. His relationships, even though he's not married, the connection. He unfulfilled love. He's not going to feel love being in prison. He feels like people are going to be out to get him. His connections aren't going to be that great. And he feels that his lawyer is going to be greedy. People out to get him. He thinks the prisoners are going to be greedy. They want a lot of things from him. They want money. They want you know, they know he's going to be the royal there. Like, oh, we know that you were royal, even though you lost your title. We still want things from you. We want money. We want things. And if you don't, we'll beat the crap out of you. So, yeah, he's material. He'll lose material things because he lost his title. He'll lose money. He'll be poor, except for getting a lawyer. He'll be poor. His status, his finances are going to be in the toilet, basically. That's what it says. It says, Beaver Spirit, lay as a solid foundation. He's going to try to have a solid foundation when he's in prison. He's going to try to do the best he can being in prison. You know, he's going to try not to make waves. He's going to just stay to himself if he has to be in general population. He's going to stay to himself. He's not going to try to pick fights. He's going to keep to himself, be fearless and bold. But he's going to be fearless. He's not going to let people bully him in prison. Like, you know, he's going to, you know, stand up for himself. Andrew, he's not going to be, you know, a person you can take advantage of. And the fellow see health and boundaries. He's going to try to be healthy in prison. How you can be healthy because they give you what you have. He's going to try to stay healthy, boundaries. He's going to try to eat what he wants in prison. Maybe he's going to ask to have special treatment in prison. It says he is scared about being in prison. I'm going to ask one question more. Is he afraid of being knifed in prison? Is Andrew scared of being knifed in prison? I'm going to ask that and then I'll close. In the future, I might make more YouTube videos on tarot reading about Andrew or members of the royal family. Is he afraid of being knifed in prison? Is he afraid? I'll do 4 cards. Is he afraid of being knifed in prison? Andrew, entertainment purposes. Is he afraid of being knifed in prison? Yes, he's afraid of being knifed or, you know, beaten up. Yeah. He thinks he can be a compassionate person, but he feels disconnected. He feels very disconnected. He doesn't know anybody. He doesn't have any ways of getting to people, being friendly to them, because he's never lived like a majority of the people who've been in prison and jail. He's been very sheltered. See, he's very sheltered. His money's going away. He's been a very sheltered person, the royal family. And anybody in prison is an easy target. So he's pretty much disconnected. He's pretty much screwed. And he thinks he's, like I said, he's going to try to flirt with the women guards and stuff. And also he feels he's unfairly loved, like, oh, why didn't my family stick by me, even though I've been a douchebag or a dirtbag, and he's feeling, oh, what, he feels like he didn't do anything wrong, and he doesn't feel loved from his family and his friends, and if he had any friends, you know, he feels unloved, and he's a very greedy person. Here's another one. It says he's really greedy and he's going to lose a lot of money. Like I said, he's going to lose a lot of money because, you know, people won't want to have anything to do with him. I don't know if even his kids want to. His ex-wife won't. You know, I think she'll be kicked to the curb. Sometime I'll do a reading on her. Yeah, so he's very stubborn and his money is going to go away, you know, now that this thing. I don't think he's going to have too much money. Only enough money for a lawyer, pretty much. He'll have to wear those outfits you wear in jail and stuff. So it says, yeah. So this is all I can see right now. I'm pretty tired from doing the reading of Andrew. And everybody have a good day. And to my next video, take care and bye.